Hey there folks, and welcome to this video. This is a general notice where I sit down once a week and talk about what's going on the channel and talk about the world of motorsport. I'm going to try and get this one out of the way pretty quickly, so let's start off with what's coming up. And firstly, I want to try and get my NASCAR in New Hampshire review out at some point today. I sat down and I watched that yesterday. It was an interesting race. There are a couple of different discussion points that can come from it. After that, I want to try and get a review out of BTC at Silverstone, as well as a preview for the World Endurance Championship at Fuji. After that, I do want to try and cover the Bend, Supercars and WTCR, as well as the Suzuka 1000 kilometers, though I have a feeling that if I am as busy as I think I might be, those two might get pushed back another week. So I can start to talk about a couple of other bits and pieces instead. On Friday, I want to finish watching IMSA at Indianapolis. I watched the first couple of hours live. Got a handful more hours left to watch of that. And then on Saturday, hopefully, Super GT at Sugo. Before on Sunday, a review of the Fuji 6 hours. On Monday, with the next general notice, hopefully I can talk about NASCAR at Kansas. I don't know, though. In terms of CSRE, this week for Cav Sim Racing Encyclopedia, well, my most recent video was a Grand Prix Legends retrospective. That was quite fun because I've known about the game for forever, and I've driven the Grand Prix Legends tributes in Assetto Corsa and iRacing, but I've never actually played GPL. So it was a lot of fun to do. I've still got it installed, so I might do some more videos in that in the future if you do enjoy stuff like that. Look for those sim racing videos that I do. Find them in the description down below. I'm really enjoying doing that. I've given myself the brief of doing one video a week. And yeah, just building shorts around that. This one is more for the kind of things that I do enjoy talking about. One of the things I have started doing a lot more, though, is one-shot videos. Something I used to do years and years and years ago is because I was trying to cover so much in such little time. And I am in that space at the moment, unfortunately. But I can get through it. I'm enjoying doing this stuff. I'm still enjoying watching all of these things. There was time for a couple of weeks where I felt a bit more chorey, but I've gotten back up to date with some of my driver trackers. Namely the series that I'm watching primarily. So F1, WRC, the ERC, and I think I've also kept up on World RX. I know NASCAR, I've got about a dozen races to catch up on for it, because the last NASCAR one I did was, I think, Chicago Street Race. I've got a couple of months. Yeah, about a dozen or so races I need to catch up on, I guess. But oh well. I'm having fun doing this stuff still, and I know I bit off more than I could chew with trying to score every driver in about 400 races this year. I don't know what came over me, but let's see what else I can do. Let's talk about the odds for this week. All three of them are WRC. I'm going to start off with the first one that I saw, and well, no, I'm not, because I've just noticed one of the ones I was looking at I've decided not to do. But I'm going to end with the most wild one that I saw, which, coincidentally, out of the three that I've selected, was actually the first one that I saw. I digress. The first thing that stands out for me is it's been confirmed that the Italian round of the WRC from 2027 will be Rally di Roma Capitale. Now, next year's one, that's the autumn one, is still Sardinia. That has also been confirmed now. But yeah, from 2027 until 2030, two rallies will switch. Sardinia will be on the ERC and Rome will be in the WRC. It's a shame that Sardinia won't be on the WRC calendar. I also enjoy Rome as part of the ERC, but I also think this is a good choice. And here's why. As I kick my microphone, I do apologise. The WRC needs more tarmac rounds. If we have a look at the 2026 calendar, And it is absolutely wild, especially because of how front-loaded these rallies are. There are 3 pure tarmac rallies. The last one of them is round 7. Japan. Because you've got Croatia, you've got Islas Canarias, and you've got Japan. Monte Carlo is still designated as mixed, though thanks to climate change it is mostly tarmac these days. But we have 3 out of 14. They're all in the first half of the season. Now, hopefully, this all changes. And we see some more rallies in there. Heck, I think Ceredigion is probably the best chance to see British rallying returning at the moment. I know they're doing a bid for Scotland, and I know Northern Ireland has been toing and throwing for a while. I think the best way to get a British rally back on there is a tarmac rally. It almost sounds sacrilegious. I went to the last Rally GB. It, probably unsurprisingly, is my favourite rally in the WRC. But we do need more tarmac in the WRC. At the same time, the European Rally Championship would do better if there was more of a split in terms of gravel and tarmac as well. Because if you think about this year's one, we had, 3 gravel rallies, right? We had Poland, we had Hungary, and we had Scandinavia, and I've just said them completely the wrong order as well. But out of 8, 3 of them were gravel. Now, I do think that there should be a winter rally. I think that the calendar should be spread out a lot more. It'd be nice if we had 9 or 10 events. Still the same best 6 from 7 rule, but 9 or 10 events. I mean, it means that you won't see the same protagonists every single time, but look at the ERC this season. Mats Osberg missed a few rounds. Now, there's various reasons for that, but Nikolai Grajin was meant to do 5. He's only doing the first one, the last one. In the end, the 3 people who are doing the title battle are the 3 who showed up every time. But more gravel in the ERC, more tarmac in the WRC is a good thing. It's a shame that it's going to be these 2 rounds I think are brilliant fits for their own championships that are switching around. I will be interested to see when 2027 rolls around how successful they are in their new championships. I think starting off the WRC with a stage around the Colosseum will be spectacular. It's almost as if you decide to do a rally in Egypt and you put it around the pyramids. Or if we had a return to rallying in Britain and the first stage was Stonehenge. There is actually an example that I can think of, 2, I guess, that do something like that in the WRC. One of them is one of the most historic rallies in WRC history, the Acropolis. Starts around the Acropolis. And the other one was actually the newest rally in WRC. I know Saudi Arabia's coming, but Paraguay. They ended it at a UNESCO heritage site. I'm assuming Saudi Arabia's going to try and do something quite similar, even though I know the headquarters is the Jeddah Street Circuit. Yeah. I'll be interested to see how this goes. I will also be interested to see this thing that is apparently being floated of mandatory minimum rest periods, giving drivers a chance to recover between different sections. Now, part of that, as Dirtfish point out, and all 3 of my articles that I've referred to this week are from Dirtfish. I do also usually refer to a lot like Rally Journal, for example. I think I've referred to Planet Markers before. But yeah, this also sounds like a good idea. I mean, yes, people in the WRC are athletes. And yes, even in motorsports, you see things like Le Mans or Daytona, where people may just try to stay awake the entire 24 hours. But yeah, the idea of stretching the rest breaks out is a good idea. I speak about that from a kind of those are standard working guidelines in European countries perspective. But also, in addition to that, there's one thing about remote services being limited to one per rally. Now, according to this article, promoters can change that on a case-by-case basis. I think that is better off being left to a case-by-case basis. I don't think it's a good idea to have, a remote service in the middle of every day. But one of the things that may be a nice idea is having 3 service parks, almost in a kind of bivouac-style system. It's trickier to do in the current WRC because it's based around a hospitality model, a hub and spoke, where you have the hub that is the service park, and the spoke to the different directions that the stages can go off in. You do see this in a lot of rallies where one day will be in this area, second will be in this area, third one will be in this area. CER is the most clear-cut recent example of it because we come to expect it. Heck, even the Monty has that. Midlands had it in years gone past. Rally GB, when I went. Yeah, because you had some that were north and some that were mid and then some that were up near Llandudno. The ideal thing that you'd see for the WRC is something where, over a 3-day event, you would have maybe 3 different bases. Then everyone's got the pop-up tents, but there's also, hotels or camper vans. So every morning when the cars go out of service, the teams pack up their stuff, their tents and stuff like that, and they move to where the rest is for the rest of that day. They then go take their break, the drivers go out, do the stages, and then they come back in the evening. That would be a cool thing to do for something like maybe the Safari in the future. I know Sardinia experimented with formats, a 48-hour one I actually really enjoyed. But it's still not the wildest thing I've heard from the WRC today. The wildest thing that I've heard from the WRC today is about Tänak and how he's not going to be scoring manufacturer points for Hyundai for the rest of this season. Now, the reason why this is so out of the Andrea Adamo playbook of strategy. Andrea Adamo was the team boss of Hyundai after Michel Nandan, and he was a team boss for, 2018, 2019, through to 2021. He left just before the start of 2022. Adamo would come up with these interesting strategies that people were like, oh, hang on, this is something out of left field. Team bosses would complain about it. I remember we saw it with... Is it Pierre Boudard was the Citroën team principal? Or you'd see a little bit from Malcolm Wilson and Rich Milner. You'd see a little bit from... It was still Tommy Makinen at the time. Yeah, that was the boss at Toyota. And the criticism was, this isn't the way you do WRC. You don't, intentionally send in drivers later into the power stage to get somebody to do some road cleaning and hope that they crash. What Adamo did in Portugal. There was a lot more of the intentionally giving one driver a penalty so that the other driver would finish higher up the order. But Cyril Abiteboul is starting to do a bit of that, and I'm really here for it because it just piques my interest in the political element of motorsport. I think we saw it a little bit with Formaux in Paraguay when he retired so they could change the gearbox before Chile. And now we see it here with Tänak. He's had 2 engine failures this year. First one in Sweden, second one in Chile. And if they wanted to change to another engine, he would start the next rally with, was it a 5-minute penalty? That, on a tarmac rally, is pretty much a death knell, and you've got 2 tarmac rallies coming up. So, by dropping him from manufacturer's points the remainder of the season, he's allowed to go for the driver's title. It does also open it up, potentially, for Hyundai entering a third car, but most likely they won't, which is annoying for me. My previous prediction was they were going to add a 4th car for at least one event. Whoever goes in that 4th car will inherit a 5-minute penalty immediately. But I do like this. It is really cool to see something left field like this going on in the WRC. I just hope it's a one-off, though. Like, if we open this up and this becomes a battleground, then we end up with a wild thing where in the final round of the WRC, they put new engines in Ogier's car and Evans's car, and then the point scorers for Toyota are Tänak, Katsuta, and Pyre. That will be a bit odd. It would be even stranger if, God forbid, we ended up with the 3 Toyotas battling, and then we end up with a 6th Toyota entered just so they have 3 nominated for manufacturer's points. But, yeah. I know Forbo said he wanted to drive the 24 spec car to see if the Islas Canarias thing was a setup thing or just a configuration of the 25 car being the issue. I'd also be interested to see what's what with that. But I would also like to be interested to see what you guys think. So as always, thank you so much for watching and joining. Leave your thoughts down in the comment section below. And until next time, it's goodbye for now.